guys, welcome back to 𝑑𝑻𝑪𝒅𝒔. Today we have another card, the Total Strike, featuring our Primeape from Battle Styles, the old card that has the Steaming Mad Strike attack, doing 50x damage for each of your bench Pokemon that has any damage counters on them for 2 fighting energies. So we're playing this card with the new Gapejaw Bog from Astral Radiance, the new stadium that allows you to place 2 damage counters on both players' Pokemon as they put them from their hand onto the bench. We're playing this with our Inteleon engine and the Shady Dealings tag, allowing us to access any of our trainer cards, including that stadium, and more importantly, our 𝑠coopUpNet. So 𝑠coopUpNet not only allows us to recycle our Inteleon's ability, but also allows us to rebench our Pokemon once we have that stadium card in play. So that means we can easily place damage counter on all of our bench Pokemon, allowing us to hit the max damage with Steaming Mad Strike. We even have 2 Choice Belt and 1 Single Strike Energy to help us do more damage to our opponent's V Pokemon, plus that 1 Radiant Hawlucha for the damage boost against VMAX Pokemons. We can even top up extra damage counters for the knockout with our Quick Shooting Inteleon. For our switch cards, we're only playing 1 Escape Rope just because 𝑠coopUpNet allows us to do the switch effect as well. For our supporter cards, we have 1 Sonia, 1 Skyla, 1 Research, 1 Boss, and 3 Raihans. So Raihan is probably the most important card for this deck just because it helps you attack every single turn right after your Primeape gets knocked out. It even gives you that extra surge to help you support this attack. On to our set of cards, we're playing 3 VIP Pass, 4 Level Ball, 2 Quick Ball, 3 Incense, 1 Great Ball, and 1 Hisui and Heavy Ball. We also have 2 Energy Searches to get our energies, 1 Crobat V for the draw support, 3 Basic Fighting, 1 Aurora, and 1 Single Strike Energy. So that's all for the deck list, and if you guys are in need of any specific cards or packs for your own PTCG account, feel free to contact our sponsor from XTrainer90 team for the best price in Pokemon TCG online codes. You can contact them through the links in the description below, or you can click on the top right corner of this video. They even got complete personal decks you could purchase, full art, secret rare, gold cards to add to your collection, and packs from any expansion in format. Brilliant Stars, Astral Radiance, Rebel Clash, you name it. And now let's go for gameplay! Okay, let's go for our first game. I have no idea what we're up against, but we're playing our Primeape and Inteleon. So, I don't usually play Inteleon, the crazy Shady Dealings engine, and also Quick Shoot. Quick Shoot, that 1 copy actually helps you a lot if you get it at the right time. Playing 1 copy, you know, is a bit risky, but for the standard format, it actually shows up quite easily if you play only 1 copy. We do have that. Heavy Ball actually doesn't work for evolution cards though, so Heavy Ball only allows you to get basic Pokemons from your prize. That means you can only get Manaphy or extra copies of your Mankey and Sobbles from the prize, but not your Inteleon. So that's the bad thing about the Heavy Ball. It is an item though, so that's why you only get to search for basics. Okay, they are playing Dialga. The new Origin form Dialga V-Star with the Star Chronos attack, V-Star power, allowing you to take an extra turn. So it's quite broken. But not actually, because I've seen people. I think the most popular one is the one that is the most successful for Dialga decks is the one with the Mew, the one with a lot of items and Metal Saucers, Greninja, 𝑠coopUpNet, Mew tracking shoes. That's the one that works the best, because you actually get to turbo charge your turbo discard your energies with your Ultra Ball, Greninja, and then you even get to do Metal Coat on your first turn going second, and then switch Metal Saucer and attack, do Star Chronos by your second turn once you get enough Metal Saucers. So it's actually quite fast. You get to take an extra turn early in the game, and that actually counts a lot, because by then you would be able to do at least 280 damage with your Metal Blast, attaching more and more energies onto the same Dialga. So the bad thing about that deck though is that if once they kill the first Dialga, it's gonna be a bit difficult to charge up the next one. That means you're only good for that 1 copy. That your next Dialga is not gonna be that strong because you're gonna have to recharge all over again. You're gonna have, well, taking that extra turn though may actually help you share your energies, may actually help you charge up the next one, prepare for your next attacker, instead of investing everything onto the same onto the first Dialga. You actually get to prepare your next one, so they get to do a decent amount of damage with your next copy, rather than, you know, doing super crazy damage with the first one. Okay, they got Mew, they got Crobats, and here comes Zinnia to help them draw 6 cards into their hand. That's a lot of cards. If they got like a switch air balloon, they can actually do Metal Saucer, and I'm pretty sure they discarded energy from their hand. They can actually do Star Chronos this turn. So let's hope they don't get those cards. They may even do a cross switcher to kill the Crobat with Star Chronos. Who knows what's gonna happen? Are they gonna be lucky enough to get a switch and escape rope or air balloon plus the metal saucer? Or are they gonna do a cross switcher? Okay, they did metal blast. That means we're safe for one turn. We have to kill it this turn. Are we able to knock out the Dialga this turn? Let's hope so. If we can't, I think we lose the game because the next turn they got 5 energies. They can do Star Chronos already. They got Boss, probably cross switcher on their hand to do the Crobat knockout and then kill the Primeape with another, on the next turn. Or maybe they shouldn't do the Boss yet. They should be killing the Primeape because we got no attackers on the next turn. If we, if they do the Star Chronos, well, we actually are gonna bench another mankey right now. So I think if they get an extra turn, they're probably gonna kill all the mankeys in play, removing us from all of our attackers. That means we have no attacker. We're gonna have to re-bench our mankeys, and then that actually wastes. We're wasting an entire turn not attacking, and that actually allows them to collect more prizes. Is giving them that extra 1 turn for another prize. They actually got 4 prize already, right? Well, 3 prize. If they boss the Crobat, they got 4. That means they just need another final knockout to win the game. So we cannot allow for that to happen. We have to knock out the Dialga this turn, and it looks like we are able to. Looks like we actually get to do it this for this game. They actually were looking, they were a bit, confident, overconfident with the Dialga in the active spot because they don't actually have a big charm attached. We tried this list with Tool Scrapper because there's no way around the big charm because they have too much HP, and Howlucha is not doing anything to V-Star Pokemon. So I tried playing Inteleon with Tool Scrapper against V-Stars with big charm like Arceus and Palkia, Dialga. If they have that tool card attached, we actually get to search for Tool Scrapper and knock it out with 1 hit. That means they can't do Star Chronos, they can't do Star Birth. Obviously, if they have Star Birth, they're going to do it before they attack. But for Dialga, the key thing is to knock it out just before it gets to do that V-Star attack. So deny it from using Star Chronos helps you a lot in the game. That means you actually are forcing your opponent to re-bench and recharge from scratch another Dialga. And they're actually playing the 1 prize one as well. Pretty interesting. Metal Blast, same attack, but different amount of damage, different amount of extra damage for each metal energy attached. So 60 base plus 20 more for each metal. The V card, the V star, actually does 40 base plus 40 more for each metal energy attached. And there's only 1 energy attack cost. For the 1 prize is like 3 energy, 3 colorless attack costs. Pretty interesting actually. So they're playing a dual Dialga deck. How well is it gonna do though? They got Temporal Backflow. It's a basic, so it's not bad, I suppose. It's a colorless energy cost. So you get to do, it's a metal, I think. I'm pretty sure it's a metal energy cost. So it allows you to search your discard pile. Put any 1 card from a discard pile back into your hand. That means they get to recycle their metal saucer. They get to recycle maybe their, I don't know, big charm balls or whatever. Cross switcher, obviously. Okay, we're gonna do another Primeape evolution while we can. So always prepare for your opponent to play a Marnie. Have at least 1 Sobble on your bench. Drizzile is okay. It's better to have a Drizzile and a Sobble passing the turn, because if your opponent plays a Marnie, you could get a level ball, and 1 level ball is all you need to get an incense for a double search to get a stage 2 Shady Dealings. So if you have that 1 Inteleon, we're only playing 1 copy in this deck. If you have that Sword and Shield Inteleon inside the deck, you can actually Shady for an incense for a stage 2 evolution on the same turn to search for an extra 2 cards, and then maybe play a Scuba Net as well. So scoop up the same Inteleon right after the evolution so they get to recycle the ability on the next turn, doing a triple search for full on, Raihan for an extra search, full on 280 damage with your Steaming Max Strike. You can even do 310 if you have that Hawlucha in play against VMAXs, and 20 more for that one single strike energy. We're playing one single strike in this deck as well. And 2 Choice Belt, 1 Hawlucha. We got Quick Shoot, 1 copy for that extra 2 damage counter. We got even the Gapejaw Bog. Gapejaw Bog actually helps us place 2 extra damage counters on our opponent's Pokemon. Let's not forget that. So placing 2 damage counters from the get-go while they bench it, that's why it's so important to get it out as fast as you can. That's why we actually have a Skyla for this list. The final version, the final upgrade has a Skyla just because it's crucial, it's essential for you to get that stadium early. If you can play it early, obviously if you can't bench anything, don't play it just yet because you only have 4 copies to spare and your opponent can actually play a lot of stadium cards. So you actually need to keep on playing that stadium, keep on searching for it. If your opponent play a lot of stadiums, if they keep displacing your Gapejaw, you have no choice but to keep on playing that stadium. So they actually conceded because we actually bossed the second Dialga, knocked it out before they get to evolve or charge up enough energies for the Star Chronos, and we knocked out for a 4 prize for the second V-Star knockout. I think it was a V, it hasn't evolved yet, it was a V card. So I forgot what I was talking about earlier. Totally lost my train of thought, but anyways, let's just focus on this game. They have a Milotic deck sleeve and a Milotic, you know, like kind of a church art, sort of a scale art deck box. So we got our Mankey and our 𝑐𝑭𝑭𝑬𝑹. Alright, I was talking about Gapejaw Bog. So if you have it early, and if you play it early, that means whenever your opponent plays a bench Pokemon, whenever they bench something, they're gonna have to take the recoil damage of 2 damage counters, and that actually lowers their HP by a little bit, allowing you to do a one-hit knockout much easier with your Primeape. So that's the plus side of having that stadium card early. But if you play too soon, and if you don't get enough basics on your bench, if you don't do enough setup, after playing that one stadium card, you may actually be wasting that card doing nothing. Because we only have 4 to spare, a few could end up in the prize card. I actually played one game against Leafeon where I was unfortunate enough to get all 3 copies of my Gapejaw Bog inside the prize. That means we only get to play 1 Gapejaw for the entire game, and we lost that game just because we couldn't do that stadium. It was horrible. Like, I couldn't believe that actually happened. It was only for that one matchup though. It's quite rare that it actually happens, but it does happen, so it may actually be better if you have some other way of placing damage counters, like Houndoom or something. I don't like Houndoom though. I tried that deck, it doesn't work. I'm gonna showcase why it doesn't work maybe on the next video. I'm not sure if I'm gonna do a video about that, but if I am, I'm gonna show why it doesn't work and, you know, show some of the games that I actually won. I won quite a few games with that Houndoom Primeape deck, but it's not as good as this one. This one actually does much better. It's much more consistent and it's much more successful because it's so what do you call that? It's so fluid. It works so well. You got all you need is Scoop on Net. All you need is 4 copies of Scoop on Net inside your deck, and you're good to go to attack every single turn non-stop. Place damage counter every single turn on your bench for a full 250 damage with your Primeape, because Primeape does a lot of damage. All you need is that one choice belt to kill any V-Star. And for VMAX, it's a bit more difficult. You need your Quick Shoot, you need your Hawlucha, you need your Single Strike energy. Is a little bit more difficult if they have Stone Energy or, like, you know, tool cards, Big Charm, Full Face Guard, stuff like that is going to be a little bit more difficult. But think about Dracozolt though. Dracozolt is weak towards Fighting type. Arceus is weak towards Fighting type. Fighting is quite strong just because we have a lot of good matchups. Electric types, colorless Pokemons. They have Dunsparce though. Like, let's not forget about Dunsparce, but we get to hit a lot of weakness. Psychic types are quite in season now that we have Typhlosion and Shadow Rider, so those cards actually are resistant to fighting, and it's actually going to be a bit more difficult to do the knockout because we're doing a lot less damage, because 30 less is a lot. But if we have Hawlucha, we can actually do a Quick Shoot for the knockout. So Quick Shoot twice, and then Choice Belt Hawlucha. We don't even need the Single Strike energy. If we can Scoop on that, if we can play the Scuba Net to recycle our stage 2 ability, if we have like 2 Drizziles on the bench and an Incense to get our Quick Shoot Inteleon, we can scoop it up and then Quick Shoot a second time, and then Choice Belt Howlucha for 280 damage, plus 4 damage counter is quite exactly enough to kill a Shadow Rider. So this deck is pretty consistent, is working really well just because Inteleon is perfect. Right? It's perfect to get that Stadium card out. It's perfect to search for anything. It helps you get the Raihan. It helps you evolve. It helps you do so many things. Inteleon is crazy. It's gonna get rotated though, but we got a solid 2 months to enjoy, to bask in the sun, and you know, basically just lay back and enjoy the game. With Inteleon, it's not really too fair playing Inteleon all day. But for Primeape, I would actually love to experiment different ways of playing this card. I don't like to play with Houndoom, nothing but Houndoom. It doesn't work though for some reason. I tried so hard doing different, playing around with the ratios, playing around with the energies. Like, we need too many urns, we need too many incense VIP pass, we need a really good setup to make sure we can do our single strike roar every single turn. To make sure we can get the choice bell out, we need enough supporter cards, enough draw support, and I can't find a way to get that system going. The only way that I can think about is Snorlax. If you don't play Snorlax, I don't think Houndoom and Primeape is gonna work. So I tried with Crobat V, it doesn't work that well. Snorlax is probably the only way. And I don't like playing Snorlax, guys, because you're passing the turn, you're ending your turn to draw cards. That means your opponent can quite easily play a Marnie or a Boss to knock out your Primeape on the bench, and then like reset you down to 4 cards on your next turn with the Marnie, or like reset you down to like 1 less Primeape in play. You're gonna have to add a lot more rods in your deck or stuff like that. I don't like Snorlax. I just hate Snorlax. It's ridiculous. And people even play Snorlax with VMAX and V-Stars. Like, how stupid is that? You're playing Snorlax with a VMAX? Are you serious? You're passing the turn with a VMAX on your bench? Are you fucking serious? Diancie, I can understand that. Obviously, because Diancie guards you from getting bossed. Guards your V cards from getting bossed if they haven't evolved yet, obviously. If you evolve and you have a Diancie in your active, you're screwed. So it's on you, really. You shouldn't be playing Diancie anymore once you evolve. Okay, right now we're up against Palkia with Starmie. We knocked out Starmie with our first strike, doing 200 plus damage. I think we only did 200, but that's actually enough, because Starmie has quite low HP. Starmie does a lot of damage though. That's why it has, you know, it's punished with low HP. That's the reason. 50x damage for each energy attached to all of our opponent's Pokemon. Like, that attack is insane. It's bonkers. Can you imagine against Arceus? Arceus V-Star with Trinity Nova. They got 6 energies in the game. They're doing 300 damage to kill anything. Any V-Star cards. With a choice belt, you can kill any VMAXs. It's insane. Starmie is just crazy. And we actually did a escape rope. And then we got our Palkia knockout on the next turn. They have no attackers, and they actually conceded. So we won Palkia, a quick win, quite a hasty win. But, well, it's a lucky shot, I guess. We got lucky against Palkia because normally Palkia actually gets to evolve fast and attack first. But thanks to Inteleon, I suppose we're playing more Inteleons in our deck than they are. I know it's a bit silly how this game works, but sometimes it really is down to how many supports you have. The more draw supports you have in your deck, the faster your deck go. And the faster you do, the more turbo your deck is, the more you get to do early in the game. And then, you know, you get to do fast knockouts, and then they're done. You actually get to sabotage your opponent a lot with that early knockout. So it's all about speed, really. Not always. There are still decks that work really well, like Indeedee. I love Indeedee just because it works so well late stage in the game. You're buying time until the last minute, where your opponent has like 3 or 2 prize card remaining for you to do 2 VMAX knockouts in 2 turns at the final countdown. So that's the power of Indeedee. I love that deck so much just because you get to do, you get to win the game with the final at the last minute, at the very last minute, doing a lot of damage with that Indeedee Milotic combo. I love it. I tried Crobat and Yamper for my very first build, and then everyone else just did Crobat. They didn't do Yamper. They did Crobat and Milotic, obviously. Crobat and something else. I did Oranguru and Nugget as well. And then I started doing Greedent V to draw cards. And then we even have Slurpuff. We even have, what else? We have a lot of stuff. We have a lot of stuff for Indeedee decks. We have our Shaman Sky Return. And we actually had a recommendation from someone in the comments. Someone commented on one of our previous videos. They suggested to do a Oranguru V to search for tool cards, to draw tool cards from your deck, and then put it into your hand to add extra damage to hand kinesis. So hand kinesis gets to do more and more damage the more tool cards you search for as the turn goes by, as the game progresses. And they even suggested playing like Magnezone to get energies from the deck, attach it to your Indeedee, and then turn after turn, maybe have a Diancie in the active spot, so they get to guard your Indeedee from being bossed. So Indeedee gets to, Indeedee gets to rake in a lot of energies from your deck. You get to attach, you get to search your deck, the top 6 cards of your deck for any energies, attach it to your Indeedee, and then at the last minute play a Sharon to scoop up everything, essentially recollect all those energies back into your hand with that one Sharon supporter card, and then that actually allows you to play a twin energy attack with your second Indeedee maybe, and then do a lot of damage at the final, once you have a lot of energies in your hand. But that deck requires a lot of energies though. It kind of requires like Adaman maybe to do the Rare Candy evolution. It requires a lot. You need a lot of energies. You need like energy retrieval training card maybe, something to make sure you get to retrieve those cards that you discarded. So Rare Candy cannot be retrieved. Our Magnezone, once it gets knocked out, cannot be retrieved. Our Milotic cannot be retrieved. There's a lot of cards that cannot be retrieved, and that's a bad thing. So for an Indeedee deck, you need to be thinking about making sure you can draw back the cards that you discarded with either a Rescue Carrier or Slurpuff. That's why I love Slurpuff so much, because it helps you draw back your Scoop Up Net and draw back anything that you want really. And maybe play Palpat or Team Yell's Cheer or Roseanne to even shuffle back cards from your discard pile so that you get to draw them back. So you may not have enough cards in your hand just because you're playing supporter cards. You're playing so many of your items and supporters, your Scoop Up Net, your Incense, your Level Ball. You're playing so many trainer cards, you're discarding them. That means you can't actually draw enough cards into your hand to do a VMAX knockout. So that's the problem. The major problem with Indeedee decks is that how are you going to get enough cards in your hand if you discard that many? You're going to have to be very conservative. You're going to have to conserve the amount of cards that you're playing, conserve the amount of Pokemons that you play, conserve the amount of energies, the amount of trainer cards that you do, so that you get to keep as many cards in your hand as possible for as high damage as you can with Indeedee. Unless if you're playing a Ludicolo or something, I don't know. It's never impossible to see a Ludicolo with hand kinesis. You never know. But it doesn't really work that well if you ask me. It's not too consistent. Because you need Milotic and it's already a stage 1 at that. I mean, it doesn't really make sense. And as I said, Rare Candy is unretrievable, yet another card that you need to worry about. So I don't think stage 2 with Indeedee is gonna work. Oranguru is a bit interesting though. Oranguru helps you draw the tool cards, but Oranguru, I'm deviating a bit. Sorry guys, I'm talking about some other deck, but Oranguru Indeedee is interesting because if you have enough tool cards in your deck, you get to keep drawing and then air balloon to retreat. You know, to maybe a Diancie to buy you extra few turns because you're playing a full basic. So I love Diancie just because if you play any basic cards in your deck, like Crobat, Lumineon, or Oranguru, 𝑑𝑻𝑪𝒐𝒅𝒔, something that you need to keep on your bench. Obviously, 𝑑𝑚𝒐𝒅𝒔 needs to be in the active for you to attach more energies with the attack. But anything that you need to keep on the bench, you get to play Diancie. Okay, right now we're up against Rayquaza VMAX. They got Zera, so we better be getting our Manaphy soon. We actually made a mistake of benching too many of our mankeys. We got too many, well, we actually got the right amount, but we don't have a Manaphy in play. So we need to scoop up something and replace it with a Manaphy. But I think we should be dealing with the Zera by killing it instead. Because we shouldn't be wasting our scoop up net. Since we already have damage counter on all of our bench Pokemon, we should be taking advantage of that situation to do an early Zera knockout. Because I don't think they have a Raihan in their deck. I don't think they can charge up the next Zera that easily, unless if they're playing Rapid Strike Energy. If they play Rapid Strike Energy, it doesn't work for Rayquaza. It only works for what's it called? It actually satisfies the fighting. Oh, it doesn't satisfy the fire. My bad. So it doesn't work for Rayquaza at all, because you only get to discard fire or lightning energy from Rayquaza for 80x damage. You still get to attach to Rayquaza, but it doesn't do anything for the attack. Maybe if you attach a tool card, you know, scroll, you get to play Rayquaza with a scroll of swirls or scroll of whatever. I think there's only 2 scrolls. It's a bit sad, isn't it, that they actually stopped churning out Rapid Strike cards. There's no more single strike Rapid Strike. Fusion Strike is the saddest expansion ever. It's the saddest release ever, just because there's only 1 set. In addition to the start deck 100, there's only 1.5 set, I would say, that has Fusion Strike cards. Mr. Rhyme and Ice Cube are the only one that's outside of the fusion arts. Okay, here comes the third Rayquaza, and they're switching to the second one. And they are doing a rose to get 2 extra energies, so they just need to discard 2 copies to kill our Primeape. They don't need a lot. They're knocking out our active right now. So we've got our Raihan in our hand. They can't play a Marnie because they play their Rose. We got Double Search. Let's hope we get an Incense. Then we actually get to search 3 times. But we get 4 search. So we need an Incense obviously for Primeape. We need another energy, so we need the search. We need, what else do we need? A choice belt, another basic Pokemon. So you actually need to search for a lot of things. If your opponent plays a stadium card, you actually need another stadium as well. So that's why the stage 2 is actually quite essential. I would actually recommend playing 2 copies of the stage 2 Inteleon, the Shady Dealings one, just because it helps you search for more cards, and you may need to do another stadium search in addition to your Raihan, stage 1 evolution for Primeape, energy search, choice belt, Howlucha, level ball for another bench card, another mankey. So right now I'm thinking of that Zera. Are they gonna play Zera again? Because we may need to play a Manaphy, but I think the best thing to do right now is to maybe play another Mankey. I don't think they're playing a Zera though. I don't think they have that many copies. So having 2 Flaffies on the bench it looks a bit risky now. because they could quite easily have a Zera inside their deck, another copy, and then bench it, Dynamotor twice, retreat, attach, and kill both Mankeys in a single turn with a boss, and then we're dead. We got no attackers on the next turn. They got their last prize because we paused the turn doing nothing. They got 3 prizes left. So I think it's down to whether are they gonna get that Zera, because if they don't, we can quite easily do a double VMAX knockout on the next turn. This turn we can't actually kill it, because we can do 300 damage. We got Hawlucha Choice Belt. We can do actually 310, but I don't think we did the Choice Belt. So we did a single strike energy, I think. So we did a Raihan for a single strike energy, and then we had to bench another card. That means we need a level ball. So it's a bit tricky to play this deck, even though you are playing a broken ass ability. Shady Dealings is broken as fuck. We all know that. But you still need to think a lot, just because Primeape is a stage 1, 2 energy attacker, 2 specific energy at that. You need 2 fighting energy. It doesn't work for colorless cost. Like, it's just quite demanding. You need your Choice Belt, you need a Hawlucha, single strike energy possibly. So if we had a quick shoot, we could have knocked out the Rayquaza this turn. If we searched for a Choice Belt just now, it still wouldn't be enough, because it's only 310 damage. So you can only search for that many cards. You can't actually search for both the Choice Belt and the single strike energy. So if we got the Choice Belt with our Inteleon just now, then we can't actually get the Scoop Up Net for the next turn. Or if we want the Scoop Up Net, we can't actually bench another Pokemon. That means we're only doing 200 plus damage with our Steaming Mad Strike with our Primeape, just because we have only 4 bench with damage counters. Okay, they got 20 HP remaining. Are they going to get their Cheryl? That's the big question. If they play Cheryl though, they actually have damage counter on all the Rayquazas. So they're going to have to discard everything, including the fire energies. I don't think they can afford to do that. You never know though, they could have like a training court or energy retrieval to get those energies back. Clara, Rod, Azure Pulse Rod. So they did a Dynamotor, that means no Cheryl. Okay. High Waters. My bad. Tower of Waters. High Waters is Kyogre, right? The old Kyogre from the theme format. Empoleon deck. Come Hell or High Water? Okay, they're killing the Crobat. That means we don't need to do a search. Look at that. I think they're taking advantage of the boss, assuming they might be assuming us to play a Marnie on the next turn. We don't have a Marnie for this deck, I'm sorry to say, guys, but I hate Marnie. Like, I think a sensible person, any sensible person would hate Marnie's guts, because Marnie sucks. Marnie sucks, yo. It always screws you over. I can't count the number of times my opponent plays a Marnie and got frustrated and conceded just right after playing a Marnie. And I can't count the number of times I actually conceded after my opponent plays a Marnie or after I play a Marnie as well. It's because Marnie is that stupid. It ends the game. That one copy of supporter card totally flips the entire game. Can you believe that? That's not supposed to happen. But the game just lets it happen. One supporter card and the entire game switches. It shifts entirely. Like, all of a sudden, you have nothing in your hand. All of a fucking sudden. Makes no sense. Your deck is so consistent, but you just get nothing thanks to that Marnie. It's virtually impossible. Like, what? Are you serious? fucking Marnie. I hate Marnie so much. It makes no sense. It makes no sense at all. So we did our quick shoot and we actually got another VMAX knockout this turn. We could actually do 300 raw damage already because we got our Hawlucha. We get to bench another copy. We just need to bench the Sobble. There we go. We got 250 plus 30 from the Radiant Hawlucha plus 20 more with that single star energy attached. Just because they didn't knock out our Primeape on the last turn. They actually did a boss on the Crobat. Had they done the Primeape knockout, we would have needed our Choice Belt to kill the active Rayquaza. Or maybe a escape rope boss to kill something else because we only have one prize left. So we don't actually need to deal that much damage to kill a VMAX. We just need to boss something on the bench, a Flaffy. But I'm pretty sure we got like Incense for a quick shoot as well. We can actually Shady for a quick shoot. Or maybe Shady for a Choice Belt. It's kind of the same thing though, because we only need that extra few damage. If we don't have a single strike attached, we just need either a single strike or a Choice Belt. Or a quick shoot, my bad. So right after the knockout, there's no way you can retrieve the single strike energy because we are not playing any urns in this deck. We have no Urn of Vitality. We're not planning on retrieving it anyways. We got no Roseanne as well. So once it's gone, it's gone. We got no rods in this deck as well. I don't think we can win against one prize deck that easily, but we are attacking very fast. We're doing a lot of damage very fast though. We're not really attacking that fast because we actually need to evolve. We need to get the stadium card. We need to bench a lot of things, but I'm pretty sure if we have enough Sobbles, if we have 2 Sobbles to start, all you need is 2 Sobbles on your bench. Either 1 on your bench and 1 in your active, or 2 on your bench and a mankey in your active. Whatever, 2 Sobbles in play is all you need to get a good setup on your second turn, to get the Gapejaw with your first Shady, and then scoop up net, you know, get a scoop up net with your second Shady, and then maybe a Sonia or something like that. And then you actually get to attach your second energy and attack with a decent amount of damage. Doing Steaming Mad Strike if you're lucky enough to get your Incense at the same time. So I don't think you can search for that many cards in 2 turns. So I would say you are only able to attack on your 3rd turn, maybe. But it's still possible though. It's still possible to attack on your 2nd turn if you're lucky. It's just a bit more difficult. Because you need to get your Gapejaw, you need to get Sonia, you need to get a lot of other cards. They are more important than evolving and attacking fast. Because having enough damage counters on your bench sets you up for the rest of the game. You can at least do 200 plus damage, 250 or more for your first strike, and then 200 plus as the game progresses. 200 plus from then on. Because you can actually play Gapejaw, bench another card, Gapejaw again, bench another card. It's quite easy to sustain from there. So all we need is the very first setup. We're gonna get our Crobat right now. I love Crobat just because it gives you a big draw. Playing so many item cards in this deck, so many Shady and items, it's guaranteed to give you at least 4 draws, unless if you have like a lot of Pokemons in your hand that you're not able to play because they're evolutions. It does happen if you have like too many Drizziles and Inteleon in your hand. You're only able to draw like 1 or 2 cards with your Crobat. But since you're playing so many items in this deck and only a few supporters as well, I'm pretty sure we would be, we would have a high chance of drawing at least 4 cards with that 1 Dark Asset. And we even have that 1 extra Research if all else fails. So always play your Crobat after playing the Stadium card, because there's no way you can scoop up your Crobat. That is the most important thing that you need to remember. Make sure to remember to remind yourself that Crobat cannot be benched if you have no Stadium in play. you should never be benching a Crobat because you're gonna have to wait for it to die before you get to do a max 250 damage. So if Crobat doesn't get knocked out, if your opponent keeps avoiding Crobat, if you keep putting inactive and they keep doing a boss, if they keep avoiding Crobat, then you can't possibly do more than 250 damage. Unless if they are playing a VMAX. So if they play a VMAX, you can only do 250 plus 30 plus 20. That's like 300 max damage with a single strike and choice belt and Hawlucha, when you should be doing 330 max damage. I prefer playing like another single strike energy, but I don't think we have the room for that. The reason I have a Aurora is because we want to be attacking with something else as well. It gives us the option to attack, you know, we have a Raihan, we could actually do Raihan to the Crobat, Aurora for like 70 damage plus 30 thanks to Hawlucha. So Hawlucha could actually help us you know, do a 2-hit knockout strategy with our Crobat or even Manaphy. Manaphy can do 20 damage with Wave Splash, so Manaphy does 50 damage. And if you got a Choice Belt, you can do like 80 damage with one Aurora Energy. So that's why Aurora Energy is there, for us to attack with Inteleon as well. The Shady one, because that one does 120 for a Water and Colorless. The other one is only 70 damage. Waterfall is not quite powerful, but it allows you to do it for a twin colorless energy cost. So it's a bit different. So we're gonna get a Scoop Up Net and something else. I'm not sure what we're up against right now. I think it's a Mew VMAX deck. So we're gonna get an Energy Surge and a Scoop Up Net. There we go, it's a Mew VMAX. We got the Meloetta knockout right now. We need the energy for Primeape. I don't know what we're gonna get for our second trainer though. We should be getting the scoop. But we can actually scoop on the next turn though, because we got a Raihan. If they do a Marnie, I think we should have scooped just now, because if they do a Marnie, we're kind of screwed. So we only got double search on next turn. We can search for an energy and the Primeape evolution, but that's all we need though. We can't do the Mew VMAX knockout unfortunately, because we don't have a basic Pokemon to bench. They're probably gonna attack by now. Shauna, Ultra Ball, Fusion Strike System, and Old Cemetery, which is horrible. Now we need one extra piece for 250 max damage. So they actually retreated and did nothing. So we get to attack with the same Primeape a second time, which is a big plus because they're giving us a Genesect, a free Genesect knockout for another 2 prize, which is ridiculous. So we're gonna get Scoop on that to prepare for the next turn. We actually get to, oh, we can't actually search for anymore. We're gonna bench the Sobble right now, even though we don't have the damage counters. Is okay. I don't think it matters. We may not have any more Scuba Nets inside the deck though, so I think we actually chose to, oh my goodness, we did that. So if they play a Marnie, but I think the reason we did that is because they're playing a Mew. So Mew VMAX has no Marnies. It's kind of infamous for playing no Marnies. They could have a Roxanne though, but it doesn't work until your opponent, like, I think it works now. I'm not too sure. Until your opponent has 3 or fewer prize cards remaining, right? So Roxanne actually works now. So if they play something like Marnie, Roxanne, we can't actually search for the cards that we need that easily. But the reason we didn't bench that Sobble is because, well, we may not have any more Scoop Up Nets to re-bench it. So we got Inteleon, we should be fine. We just need to search for Gapejaw and Choice Belt. They are resistant to fighting type though. Resistance mean we may need to search for the other Inteleon, but we only got one search for the Raihan. And if we don't evolve into the Shady, if we evolve into the Quick Shoot, we can't search for any more cards. So I don't think we have a choice but to play an Escape Rope. I think the best thing is to do Escape Rope Boss right now. We don't need to play we can't play a Raihan actually, because we got no basic energy in the discard pile. We actually don't need it because we already have an active attacker. We're just gonna search for a Gapejaw Bog, and maybe a Scoop Up Net, and then bench everything. Well, we need a boss right now. So either a boss or Escape Rope, but we don't actually have any more scoops inside the deck. I'm pretty sure we run out of our... Oh, we got another scoop. Okay, we got our boss and Choice Belt maybe? Oh, we need a Bog. My bad. Okay, Bog for extra 2 Pokemons with damage counters. We're gonna kill the Genesect right now. And then Escape Rope to kill the next card. Because whatever they bench, it's dead the next turn. We got 250 damage. Plus Choice Belt. Possibly a Single Strike Energy as well. So we got 2 Sobbles on the bench, but no Drizziles. So this is a bit risky, because if they play a Roxanne, we are kind of screwed. We got 3 Drizziles in our hand. I'm pretty sure they're gonna play at least a Marnie. Or a Judge. You never know. Okay, now we just need that one Escape Rope. We're only able to do a max of 300 damage to the Mew with all the damage boosts, Howlucha, Single Strike Energy, and Choice Belt. So 300 damage with a Quick Shoot would be enough though, but they're probably going to do Psychic Leap. So both players are down to 1 prize, which is actually pretty close. But we got the win just because we got our Escape Rope. This is actually quite a close game, surprisingly. Because they got a turbo start with Meloetta, but they didn't get enough bench setup. They didn't get to play the Fusion Strike system. They didn't get to use Genesect's ability to draw enough cards into their hand. That's why they got delayed for so many turns. And finally Mew gets to attack a bit too late. And we got the Escape Rope with our Raihan. We got the energy in our hand. We just need to bench another card. Well, we don't need to bench anything really, because Oricorio has very low HP. I forgot about Oricorio. So we actually need 330 damage to kill the Mew VMAX. You know, with the Single Strike Energy, we're doing 280. That means with the Quick Shoot, it's only 300 damage. So thanks to Oricorio, we're doing 50 less damage to the Mew VMAX with our Steaming Mad Strike. So I don't think we can kill a Mew that easily. We need 2 strikes to KO a Mew. So I think the best bet is to like boss, you know, play Escape Rope as early as you can. Once they have no, if they have no VMAX on the bench, you can actually Escape Rope to kill something, a Mew V, a Genesect, a Oricorio, whatever. And then all you need to do is, do a 2-hit knockout on the VMAX for the 4th prize, right? For the 2nd, 3rd, and 4th prize, kill a VMAX. And then for your final remaining 2 prize, you got a boss to target the Genesect. So that's the way to win against a Mew VMAX deck, theoretically, but it may not work just because they got Psychic Leap. Psychic Leap is gonna help them avoid that 2-hit knockout strategy. So Psychic Leap is a very disruptive attack, right? That's why Fusion Strike decks work so well against 1 prize against anything, because they got Max Miracle against Miltank, against Duraludon, against anything. They got Max Miracle against 1 prize like Altaria Decidueye, and they got Psychic Leap against 1 prize as well, because it's quite impossible to kill Mew with 1 hit, especially if you're playing Lucario, because you have resistance. So They got Oriko Rio for the damage reduction. They got Psychic Leap for the damage recovery. They got Avery to, you know, disrupt your bench, to destroy your bench supports. I mean, Mew VMAX is a bit crazy. They got Meloetta as well. Meloetta gets to attack. That means they are forcing you to deal with that heavy attacker, which is a 1 price card. It's doing so much damage, and if you kill it, you only get to draw 1 prize. Isn't that silly? That's very, very silly. So if they invest all of the Fusion Strike energy, as many Fusion Strike energy as they can, onto that one single copy, it's gonna make it very threatening. It's gonna make Meloetta, it's gonna, you know, threaten your opponent to knock out Meloetta. Because if they don't kill Meloetta, then it's gonna keep on doing 280 damage with Melodious Echo. 280 is enough to kill a V-Star though. Meloetta is so broken. Like, 280, can you believe it? For a basic Pokemon, base damage. Elisa, Energy Lotto, insane. Okay, we got our Drizzile for the stadium, I think. Oh, we already got a stadium, my bad. So we had to do a double scoop. We need to scoop up twice. So this is a Heatran VMAX matchup. That means they're healing like crazy. We need to be aiming to do a 1-hit knockout, or at least a 2-hit knockout. I don't think they have Cheryl, but they probably are playing cards like Honey, Lucky Ice Pop. If they can heal everything, which is highly unlikely, because they're only healing 50 damage with the ability, and then a little bit more with those item cards, maybe Hyper Potion, because they got Magma Basin to reattach those energies. But if they do Hyper Potion though, they need, like, you know, a switch retreat mechanic. They need to switch to the barrel, retreat with air balloon, stuff like that, to attach to the bench, because Magma Basin only allows you to attach to your bench fire Pokemon. It's quite restrictive that way. It's not perfect. There are limitations to every card, which actually makes the game a bit more fair. Except for Shady Dealings. There are no restrictions for Shady Dealings. That's why this card is so broken. And I'm so happy it's gonna get rotated. A little bit sad because I'm finally realizing the full potential of this card, but a bit too late, I would say. But I kind of hate it though, just because it's really, really, like, kind of cheating. You're kind of cheating if you're playing a Shady, an Inteleon engine, because you have so much consistency. You get to search for anything, you get to scoop it up and recycle the ability, you get to search for so many cards every single turn. That's madness. I only play it when I have to. So for this deck, I tried Houndoom like crazy. It doesn't work. It just doesn't. Houndoom with Gapejaw is too difficult. It's just way too difficult. Scoop Up Net is the main, like, the key card for a Gapejaw Primeape deck. Gapejaw Primeape works best if you have a max of 4 copies of the Scoop Up Net to help you reverse the bench Pokemon, because you need to scoop it up and then bench it again once you get to play that stadium from your hand. Okay, we actually got, I think we got the right cards. We just need to scoop up the Inteleon right now. So we got no choice but to search for a scoop. But that actually helps us for the next turn as well, because we can search for a Raihan if they knock out our active, but they got no Heatran V on the bench. So right now we're doing 250 base damage plus 60 more from Hawlucha Choice Belt and 20 more from Single Strike Energy. We got to do the maximum damage output for this deck, which is that one Single Strike Energy, that one lucky, that lucky stroke gave us the VMAX knockout for that turn. because we're only playing one copy of that special. And we got 2 Choice Belt, 1 Hawlucha obviously, but we got Hisui and Heavy Ball to draw it out from the prize. If it's stuck there, we got a lot of ways to summon our basics, so Hawlucha is not that difficult to bench. The most difficult card to play is that Single Strike Energy, just because we have no Houndoom. The only way we can search for that card is with Raihan, because Raihan allows you to search for anything. Inteleon only allows you to search for Shady, my bad. Inteleon Drizzile only allows you to search for training cards. And the only trainer card that allows you to search for your special energy is either your Lotto, Energy Lotto, or your Pierre's. And Pierre's doesn't work that well because we only have that one Darkness Pokemon, only one Poison type in this deck, Crobat, no other Dark type Pokemons. So Pierre's doesn't really do much. I would rather play Sonia, Skyla, Research, stuff like that to support this deck than a Pierre's, just for that one energy. Raihan is perfect though. You may not have the luxury to search for that the Single Strike Energy with your Raihan, because you need so many things. You need a lot of pieces to attack with your second Primeape right after they kill your first one. Like, it's just consistently you need so many pieces. If they play Stadium cards in your deck, if they remove Gapejaw on their last turn just before knocking out your Primeape, you need to search for another Stadium, which is yet another piece in the pile of craziness. We need an evolution, we need a Raihan, we need like energy search, choice belt, possibly a Hawlucha, a level ball, extra Pokemons on the bench. Like, we need to search for more Pokemons, basics to bench. So it is a lot to think about. Like, never underestimate, never overestimate an Inteleon deck, because your opponent can play, can do a blunder. They can do a couple mistakes, searching for the wrong cards and wasting their scoop up nets. Once they run out of those cards, then they're screwed, because they can't actually retrieve them. There's no way you can, repeat the scoop up net effect. There's no way you can recycle your ability anymore. You can't do any more shadies once you run out of your scoop up net. So you need to be very careful. Even though you are playing a broken ability, you still need to be very careful, because there are limits to it. Obviously, it's very low. The limits is like, it's very, very low. It's the freest card in standard format, I would say, because you get to search for so many things. It's insane. But it still has its restrictions, because you only get to use it once as you evolve it. If they play cards like Weezing or Jolteon with Memory Capsule, if they do Dracovish, then you can't actually use your ability. You can't evolve at all if they do a Dracovish. I've seen people play like a Dracovish, quad Dracovish deck, which is quite interesting, but a bit silly at the same time, because they got nothing but Dracovish in the active spot. They got no bench Pokemon. That means it gets knocked out pretty easily. It only has 120 HP. And you're forcing your opponent to, locking your opponent from evolving, basically. Because they can't do a boss, they can't do an escape rope. So Dracovish is that bad. There is a very easy, escape from that Dracovish evolution lock. So that Evo lock doesn't actually work anymore, because we got escape rope from Battle Styles. That one escape rope card completely destroys that ability. We even got Tornadus now, from Billion Stars Tornadus to Gust that Dracovish from the active. If they don't have another bench Dracovish, they can't actually lock our evolution. So that's how bad that one fossil is. We got new fossil cards though. We got Rampardos and Bastiodon from Diamond and Pearl. Not sure how good those cards are, because I haven't tested them yet. Rampardos seems a bit tricky to play. I've seen people play Inteleon with it, Bibarel with it. I don't really like, those obvious combos. It's too obvious. This one is a bit less obvious because nobody plays Primeape with Gapejaw. So Primeape with Gapejaw, the best way for it to work is with Inteleon, because you get to bench so many things. You still need to think about stuff to help to make that stadium card work though. So the best idea I have is Scoop Up Net. Scoop Up Net helps, it actually complements that stadium card a lot, because it helps you place damage counter over and over and over on your bench Pokemon. So you don't need to have that stadium at the right time, so to speak. You can actually you can bench it first and then scoop it up later once you have your stadium in play to re-bench that Pokemon. Okay, right now we're up against a Charizard V-Star. They got another Charizard on the bench. I think we should be killing the one on the bench first. But we are not able to do the knockout this turn. We're not able to search for enough copies. We didn't get the missing pieces. We need too many things, so we're not able to do it yet. We're just gonna sacrifice the Hawlucha because they got no VMAXs in sight. I don't think they have any VMAX, so we're just gonna put it as the sacrificial lamb. Hawlucha is gonna get killed for us. Thank you for your service, Hawlucha. Thank you for your service. If they do a boss though, Hawlucha is gonna escape death. Okay, having two mankeys is always the best thing. If they do Avery, we're gonna be forced to discard our Sobble. We may choose to discard the mankey though, because Avery means they are not able to play a boss. They can't do boss Avery at the same time. Obviously, we're gonna discard a Crobat. Avery is gonna force us to play the stadium, another stadium card with the Shady. It's gonna force us to get more pieces into our hand. So that is very disruptive. If you are playing that, one supporter completely destroys any card, any one price deck, especially if you need a lot of supports like Flaffy, if you need you know, if you need your ability supports, or like Regidrago as well, if you need a lot of if you need to satisfy the condition, the bench condition, then Avery is gonna completely destroy your deck. Avery against Genesect as well, against Mew VMAX with Genesect. Because it's gonna force them to play cards like Clara or Rod or Chili, Silent, and Crest to get back those, to re-bench more singles, more Fusion Strike cards for Genesect's ability to work. Good thing is they actually get to choose what Pokemon to discard. Your opponent doesn't have that level of control, but it is enough control though. Just forcing you to discard is control in itself. Kind of the same as Spirit Mask. You don't have a say on what card your opponent chooses to discard, but they still need to discard a card from their hand. Okay, they got Radiant Greninja, Magma Basin, they got Star Blaze. They haven't used it yet. I don't think they need it. They don't need Star Blaze for this game, because we are not playing high HP cards. They just need the first attack. I have no idea what the first attack is called. Fire Blast, I think. I don't know. But it does 230 damage if it has any damage counters on it. Otherwise, it does only 130. And it's not actually enough to kill the Crobat. So they need either to Basin on the active by switching and doing a retreat with Air Balloon, or Scoop Up Net on the Greninja, or they can just evolve the second copy, play the stadium, attach one from their hand, switch the bench copy into the active spot and attack with a new one. So it's quite easy to kill the Crobat. Might as well just do Star Blaze because we got only one Crobat, but they don't know that. They don't know how many V cards we have. You never know if your opponent is playing like a Zapdos or I don't know, Luminion, Eldegoss, Kricketune. Those are gonna get rotated though. Crobat, Kricketune, Eldegoss is gonna be no more post rotation. Kricketune, I'm not sure about Kricketune though. Is it Battle Styles? I think Kricketune is Battle Styles. So Kricketune V is actually still in format post rotation. I'm not sure though, guys. If you guys know, please comment in the section below. Let me know. Like I'm not. I should really check. Like I should be more aware about this. But Kricketune V, I don't see it being played around. Like where is Kricketune? Nobody plays that anymore. Exciting stage. Draw cards until you have 4 cards into your hand if it's in the active spot. Same as your Regidrago, but it has only 1 energy retreat. Regidrago is ridiculous because its 3 energy retreat is the same as Snorlax, except it only helps you draw till you have 4 cards. You don't have to end your turn, but you need to add a lot of switch cards in your deck to make that one ability work. So I don't think it's that useful. Unless if you have like you know, some sort of way to remove its retreat cost. Hiding energy doesn't work. Air Balloon doesn't work that well because it has 3 energy retreat. So Regidrago is kind of useless, I would say. The ability, you need Scoop Up Nets, you need Switch card, Escape Rope. Bird Keeper is gonna get rotated. Switch is gonna get rotated. I've no idea if those like core cards is gonna come back. Energy Search, Switch, Ordinary Rod, Evolution Incense, like those cards, even Ordinary Rod, even Energy Search, Energy Retrieval, like are they gonna get rotated as well? Nobody knows. I don't know though. I'm pretty sure Energy Search is gonna stay in the game, right? Like those simple cards, we need them. Like we need them like mad. Quick Ball is gonna rotate though. That's like probably the biggest shift in the game. Quick Ball turning into Egg Incubator. I don't like that item. Like VIP Pass is okay. Egg Incubator sounds a bit silly because you're flipping a coin. I mean, I hate flipping coins, guys. Flipping coins is just retarded. Okay, we got the single strike energy. We can't kill the active right now. We're gonna do that. We're just gonna search for a Scoop Up Net. We don't have a Scoop Up Net, my bad. We need to search for the stadium so that we can do 280 damage right now. So we have no choice but to get a mankey. That means we're kind of stuck on the next turn unless if we draw something from the prize. We're probably gonna draw an incense, right? Or a Scoop Up Net. I think we ran out of the nets. Do we have any more nets? We got 1 more net. So this list only has 3 copies. Some of the list is a bit different from the final version. The final enhanced version, the best version of this list, is the one that I just reviewed earlier in this video. You know, the final upgrade is in the description below if you guys want to check it out. If you guys want to test it out yourself, go ahead. It actually earned me a lot of wins, more than 50%. I always make sure my deck is at least 50% success. The success rate is at least 50. If you guys want to check it out, if you guys want to see the success rate of any deck, any video, you know, in all of my videos, all of my decks, the starting part, the very beginning of the video, just before the deck review, when I was welcoming people to the channel, like today we are featuring this card, blah blah blah. Just before I click on the deck, you can look at the statistics. There is the stats on the deck box that shows how many games I played and how many wins I got from that with that deck. So for this one, I think it's like 35 out of 68 games. I'm not too sure. 38, my bad. 38 out of 62 games. 38 wins out of 62 games. I think that's right. 38 out of 62. You can check it at the beginning. Like, I'm pretty open about that. I make full sure that the deck is really, really good before I upload the video. If it's not good, I'm not gonna do it. It's like the Houndoom. I tried the Houndoom like crazy. It just doesn't work. So I'm not gonna upload that. I might do a video to say why it doesn't work, to show how bad it is, but I won't like advertise it by saying like, oh, this deck is so good, try it, you're gonna get a lot of wins. No, I'm gonna be honest about it. That deck is shit, and I won't post shit decks on my channel. I'm not gonna post shit decks on my channel. I'm not like Popsicle Knight. He posts shit decks and get like rare wins. He get rare wins with those decks, and he just posts them. He could just do that. It doesn't matter how it affects his subscribers. It doesn't matter how it affects the gamers. Like, people are gonna copy your list and expect to get, you know, good wins, and then they're gonna get a lot of losses. And what are you gonna say? What are you gonna say? You don't really care about your subscribers. You don't care about your community. You don't care about your people. You only care about your own success, your own image. Even if the deck sucks, they're only showing the victories. They don't show the real stats. Okay, we got our incense. Okay, this is the funny part about this game, is that they actually bossed the Crobat and knocked out that V card instead of the Primeape on the last turn. That means we get to attack with the same Primeape this turn. But had they killed our Primeape in the active spot, we are actually able to kill the, what's it called, the Entei on the next turn with our second Primeape, just because we got our Shady, we got our Raihan from the top deck. So Raihan actually allows us to search for our evolution, giving us another Shady to help us get either our we actually got an energy search from our hand as well. So I don't think we need energies anymore. I think we actually have a single strike energy attached to our second Primeape. So whatever happens, we actually have another search for either the evolution or the choice belt. I'm not sure, but I'm pretty sure we can do a knockout on the next turn, because we got a Shady and we got a Primeape. And we got a Raihan. Well, Raihan for the Shady, right? Raihan for a level ball, and then Shady for something. Well, if we got a Raihan, I don't think we need to play the Shady. I think we got a Raihan and a Drizzile in our hand. I'm not really too sure, guys, but I rewinded the recording and I'm certain that we could still win if they knocked out our Primeape on that turn. Because we got enough pieces. We got 220 damage at least to kill the Entei. Okay, they played a Marnie early, which is kind of bad. Now we got nothing in our hand. But we don't really need to worry too much though, because we're playing like nothing but Drizzles inside the deck. So if they Marnie us, we're probably going to get level ball at least. And that one level ball is all we need to get our system running. So we got a really good hand right now. We got our Gapejaw in play. If they play like Path to the Peak, we just need to Shady for another Stadium, and then Sonia to bench another 2 cards. It may fare better for us to play a boss right now. If we do a boss, are we able to knock out the Ice Rider on this turn? That is the question. If we can get a basic with the Great Ball, we may be able to kill the Ice Rider with a boss. I don't think we can though, because we need energy, we need evolution. If we search for a boss, we still need 2 pieces, and we can't play the Sonia for energies. We don't have an energy search in our hand. We don't have a evolution in our hand. So we still need to search for an extra copy, which we don't have which we have no means of doing so. So boss is out of the question. We're forced to kill the Sobble, which is not bad. But we need to be benching another mankey, and then aiming to do a Raihan on the next turn. I think we need to search for a scoop up net or something. I don't know what we need to do. So we got a great ball for another Shady, which is not helping us for this game, but we actually get to do it on the next turn though. My bad. So that great ball actually helped us for the next turn. But we got a level ball in our hand anyways. I think we actually chose to bench that. Like, are we gonna search for a Hawlucha right now? Because they could quite easily do a, what's it called, boss with the Shady, and then Ice Rider did not got Hawlucha. We got no rods in this deck. Oh, we actually have a rod for this list, but the final list I decided to swap that one copy for a Scoop Up Net. So more Scoop Up Nets actually makes the deck much more robust and turbo, giving you a faster setup, giving you a solid 250 damage every single turn, and that actually matters much more than the rod. Obviously, if you're up against one prize, that rod is gonna help you a lot. But if you're up against one prize, I don't think you stand a good chance, just because we need quite a lot of turns before we're able to do at least like 100 plus damage. We need to Shady for a Gapejaw for our first Drizzile, and then for our second Drizzile, maybe get Sonia, and we get to do only 100 damage with our Steaming Wet Strike. That's not enough. We need another level ball, another bench, or a Scoop Up Net in our hand for 150 damage to kill any one prize cards. If they play a stage 2 like Charizard, we need like a full bench. But if they play a stage 2, I think we stand a good chance, because they are a bit slower than us. They need rare candies, they need like a good long time before they're able to attack. And since you're playing a stage 1 with Inteleon as well, I think we need much less. So it really depends on what type of one prize we're up against. I don't see Malamar anymore though. For some reason, people have stopped playing Malamar these days. I don't know why. Ice Rider is still super popular. I hate Ice Rider so much, because it's way too fast. Like, second turn already. Turn 1, well, you can't do anything on the first turn, my bad. Going second. On your second turn, you can do 280 damage to kill a V-Star. That's just madness. That's just fucking madness. Bonkers, yo. Banana bonkers. 280 damage for 2 energies. And they got Radiant Hawlucha for another extra 30. They got Inteleon Quick Shoot. So Ice Rider is kind of the same as our Primeape, because it's doing a max 250. Primeape also does 250 with Choice Belt. The difference is we got a single strike energy. We have the potential to do even more with that single strike energy. Ice Rider is not a strike card, that means they don't get the damage boost, but they got Inteleon for the Quick Shoot. So they could even be playing Zigzagoon for extra damage counters. So Scoop Up Net, obviously, to recycle the Quick Shoot is quite redundant. Like, people has already done this over and over, and they keep trying to update it with cards like Irida. I mean, it's not a big update. You're just adding that one supporter. Like, it's not huge. It's not a big surprise. Like, it is a water type. Irida for Ice Rider, I mean, it's just pretty dumb. It's already so powerful on its own, and you're adding that one card expecting to get what? Expecting to get a big hype about it. I mean, nobody's gonna give you anything. Nobody's gonna be surprised how good that Ice Rider deck is, because it's already powerful on its own. It's powerful enough on its own without new supporters. You don't need anything else. Irida is quite interesting though. You get to play it with any of your water ice decks. So I think I'm just going to end the voiceover right here and leave you guys to focus on the game. Hope you guys enjoyed this one. Today we're featuring the new Gapejaw Bog from Astral Radiance and our Primeape from Battle Styles. Have fun with this new combo, and we'll see you on the next episode. Bye guys! you